Hey guys, this is the last part of Living at the Living Theater. You've got to meet all the other members here, and I'm honored to introduce you to Albert Lamont, our trainer, actor, and daddy aficionado.
Well, this is my little slice of life in the Living Theater. I've got my vanity mirror right here in front of me. I've got my clothes rack right here. I just wake up and get what I need for the day, however I'm feeling. Every single day I wake up to the face of my beautiful daughter. It's the biggest picture I've got in the room of her, and it's right there so I can see it. I've got the computer over here, and then I've got my desk with my headshots and all my stuff for my personal training business. And this is where the magic happens. Okay?
How does living at the Living Theater affect your social life and also your intimate relationships?
Most artists, they think it's really cool. You know, a lot of artists really like it and they really respect it. A lot of people that I come across from the professional world, if they don't know me personally, then they look at it a little odd and a little strange.
How does that make you feel, the professional people and their response to living at a theater?
I think most professional people are wage slaves and sheep, and I really don't, take much weight from what they say.
How is it being a father and living here?
Being a father and living here, oh man, it's really great. It's really great because I really feel like the artist that I am becoming is such an enhancement to my life, and I really think it's the right example for my daughter. I didn't have a lot of artists around me at all when I was growing up, and I'm starting to believe that life is about expression, life is about communication between people, and bridging communication between people, and art is the way to do that. It really is the way to unlock your imagination and break down barriers, and I am so thankful to be in a place like this that is allowing me to grow no matter how small or how far I will or will not go. But to be able to grow into an artist and be able to set that example for my daughter is amazing.
You did the break here at the Living Theater, and that play is very physically exhausting. Did this physical toll show and play out in any other aspects of your work, from your acting to your training and also to being a father?
The Brig went up in '07. I wasn't a daddy then. The physical part of it was one of the most enjoyable parts of the show for me because I'm a former professional fighter. It was one of the few things I actually really liked about the show because there was a lot I didn't like about the show.
What kind of stuff did you not like about The Brig?
Well, The Brig was my first real play, and it's really, really intense. And after reading Judith's blog about The Brig, I immediately understood what they were going for in terms of showing the inhumanity. It's torture. You're either being tortured or torturing someone. And to do my best at such an intense play, my first time out, a lot of it came home with me, and I hated some of my cast members, particularly the guards when I was a prisoner, and then when I became a guard, I hated the prisoners. As wonderful and exhilarating as the experience was, it was scary.
She's so...
Burgess. He's the administrative director here at the Living Theater, and he keeps it all together. Brett, you used to be upstairs in the room next where I am now, and since moving down here, how has that affected or changed your social and intimate relationships?
Well, it's a different psychological thing to live in the theater. The theater is a business place. in one aspect. I mean, I would argue that in general. I would say maybe it's a more religious, spiritual place than a business place, and it's not the same thing as living in a home. You know, it does something to you psychologically.
What is your daily practice here to keep yourself grounded?
Well, it really starts with my discipline for the digital world. That's really what grounds me in my day-to-day activity, that wherever I am, whether I'm down here in this dressing room, upstairs in the room that you're in now, or sleeping out on the stage in a prison cell, the digital world is available to me wherever I need it. Mm-hmm. And so how I do my emails, how I get my business work done is really what has guided me through this life here, the new lifestyle here.
I feel that it's really important that no matter where you are, your state of mind is what is going to tell your story and how you're feeling, how you're living. And I was wondering, do you feel like there's any way you can change how you're living or how you're feeling by how you're...
What you think?
Yeah.
How you think? Yeah, I think absolutely. I think that's how it's when you are ready to give yourself to something entirely, like a state of mind or a way of thinking. You have to be able to hold it in focus and change it as your situation changes. So that now that I'm living in a theater as opposed to an apartment, I have to be able to understand that that's happening constantly in my life and not forget about it and not just resume my life as though nothing's changed and, you know, keep it unexamined. I mean, that's the expression. An unexamined life isn't a life worth living.
How has the Living Theater set a foundation for your predicted future plans?
Well, given that I have decided that I'm going to make my entire life about the Living Theater, I would say it has made my future entirely predictable, because I will be here until I die and it kills me.
Good answer. So, in your direction in Korok, you use a lot of examples from the Brig. What is it about that play that was so influential to you in your directing?
Well, it's a monument in my life, really. In a lot of interviews, you'll hear actors, major actors from the Living Theater, like Steve Ben Israel, talk about that the Brig taught them everything they know about acting. And I really feel that way too, I really do. And I felt I knew a lot about acting when I got here, you know, as much as you can as somebody in your early 20s. You know, I felt I had a lot pretty solid. I had a great acting coach for a couple of years when I first got to the city. I had really lucky experiences. And then I did the Brig, and that is exactly what happened. I felt like I understood what it meant to be on stage in a moment with an audience, really sharing something and really exposing something about myself. And that just got me hook, line, and sinker. That really got me. And I'm able to refer to it because it's such a basic and primal feeling. I'm really able to refer to it in all of the plays that I helped Judith direct. And so many of the actions in the Brig are so simple, from turning left, turning right, you know, marching forward, that if you can enact that on stage and make it interesting and understand how to bring that to a high level as an artist, then figuring out how to explain biblical text, figuring out how to explain much more interactive and personal and human movement is all of a sudden a delight. You know, it all of a sudden, it gives me a starting point to base any kind of note that I can think of on for an actor, because it's such a basic way to start to understand, and it's a really nice canvas to paint the details of whatever play you're doing on after you've done it. What I really want to do is get a bunch of people in the room together and do something and orchestrate something really wild that changes them, and that changes what it means to be in a room with somebody else or a group of other people. That's what I want to do, and it's so different from what gets you into, you know, being an actor. And then you find out, wait a second, I thought I was an actor, I thought I was a painter, but now all of a sudden I'm a political activist, and now all of a sudden I'm a director, now all of a sudden I'm an actor that was a painter, that's now an actor, painter, video blogger, you know, and it develops and it grows. And I guess the best thing I can say about the wisdom and understanding of following your passion The reason why I think it's so important is because if you do what you want to do and you spend as much time as you can doing what you want to do and what you find you're good at and what you find other people respect you for, you will go places that you did not know you could go. You will find new things that you didn't know that you wanted. You'll be somebody that you didn't know you were going to be, and it's all going to be very good.